Hi, everybody. I'm Karen Hartglass. You are listening to It's All About Food. We have a really special program for you today. We're in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, and we've been thinking about vegan restaurants all around the country and how they are faring. So I reached out to many different restaurants, and I had the opportunity to speak with people from 6 different vegan restaurants, and I'm going to share those interviews with you in just a moment. What really touched me about all of them is the compassion and the generosity. Now, I've known this for a long time about vegan restaurants in particular, that the owners and those who are involved in management really care about the food and really care about their community. And now, in this particularly difficult time, this sense of community really shines. Here in New York, I spoke with Marty Crudelo of Marty's V-Burger, Vladimir Grinberg of The Organic Grill, and Robbie De Rossi from De Rossi Global, who has many wonderful drinking establishments and restaurants in New York City and in other locations as well. And then I spoke with Patricia and Raheen Jones from the New Vegan in Delray Beach, Florida, Nija Wright Brown from the Land of Kush in Baltimore, Maryland, and Sunny Mueller from the Vegetarian House in San Jose. They all have unique stories, and I hope you enjoy listening to them. Here they are. I'm here with Marty Crudelo. I've known him for some time. I knew him originally as Flying Vegan Marty when he was a commercial pilot in search of vegan food in the airports and surrounding restaurants. And he had a dream, and that dream was to bring delicious vegan fast food to Manhattan. And he accomplished that dream and so much more. And he has a store, I think it's on 27th Street in Manhattan by Lexington. And you can also find him at Citi Field, one of our favorite ballparks. Marty Crudelo, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Karen. I always appreciate it.
You are doing wonderful things. You're very generous. I know you donate food when you can. Now we have a pandemic. What's happening with you and your staff?
Well, first, let me just correct 2 things. My moniker is Vegan Pilot Marty on Twitter, and Citi Field is for the New York Mets home games, which of course have been canceled until the apocalypse is over. We were a small restaurant on 27th and Leck was doing great. It was cranking. We were seeing revenue increase, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves in the same boat as everybody else, and revenue took a drop of somewhere between 75 and 90%. And we had to make a decision. And the decision was to keep the doors open as long as we possibly could. For several reasons. I want to keep my employees employed. I want to keep them paid. We want to keep vegan food going out to the community. It's just what we do. We're in business to save animals. And every meal that we put out there saves another animal or part of an animal. We're, of course, open for takeout and deliveries. The deliveries are still down a lot, but it's also expensive. There's a lot in the news these days about how much the third-party deliveries charge in terms of commissions, and it's somewhere between 20 and 40%. And the delivery service and the drivers have to get paid. So although it's there, it's still down. But we recently partnered with something called Support and Feed, which is Billie Eilish's mom, Maggie Baird, started this in California, in LA. It's a website, supportandfeed.com, where you can go and click on one of several restaurants. In New York City, there's 4. There's us, Beyond Sushi, by Chloe, and V-Spot Brooklyn. And you can donate to each individual restaurant, whatever one you choose. Any amount, $5 is the minimum donation and up. And what happens with this money is the restaurants then use that to prepare food to then give to Support and Feed delivery service or volunteers to take them to hospitals, frontline people who need food, homeless shelters. They're working with Chili on Wheels. We just did a drop off of 50 meals yesterday to governors, health and hospital governors down on Clinton Street. And that was the first New York City delivery. Homeless shelters, senior shelters, women's shelters, wherever they find need, the food is distributed. So you can choose your restaurant, and that helps. It was a good shot in the arm for us, for sure. So you can help the restaurant stay in business, and you help the community. So if you don't know what to do, just click on Support and Feed. And if you want to donate to California, you can do that. If you live in the middle of the country, you can donate to a good cause, $5, $500, $5,000. We accept all denominations.
That's good. I didn't know about it. What's the website again?
Support and Feed. It's all written out.
Supportandfeed.com.
Yeah. One word,
Beautiful.
A&D. Yeah.
Okay, so you are still in business.
As we speak, we're still in business.
That's good to know.
And I think we will be in business. I think that we're in a position, luckily, that we feel as though that however long this lasts, we're going to push through. It's unfortunate that so many restaurants have closed. And I think that a lot of people are out of work and they're watching their money. So they're not eating out or ordering out as much as they might normally. But a lot of sources that people would normally go to are not open anymore. And I'm hoping, it's a hard thing to measure, I'm hoping that we find a lot of new customers through this, and looking for the silver lining in this terrible time, is that people who would not have tried us before are now trying us. I was at the restaurant the other night and actually talking to two people who decided that they wanted to try a vegan burger, never tried it before. I'm like, okay, I think they bought the Impossible Burger because there's a lot of marketing that goes behind the Impossible and the Beyond. They wanted to try it. Now, these are people who I don't know where they live. They just wandering around. They saw it. They came in. They ordered it. I still have no feedback from them, and I may never get it. But it's an opportunity for us in the vegan community to extend our service to people who would normally not order our food. Even if it's oh, what the hell? I might as well give it a try. We've eaten at every other place 16 times. I welcome that opportunity to bring new people on board.
Good. I wonder what those people were doing wandering around, because we're not supposed to be doing much wandering around right now.
I know, they were breaking the law. Scoff laws.
Oh, goodness. I heard a siren in the background. And I know here in Queens, we hear them day and night.
It's sort of interesting because normally in Manhattan, it's full of a cacophony of horns and sirens. And I was walking the dog the other night. I actually heard birds.
Oh, I love that.
And that was, I took my phone out and I recorded it. And someday my grandkids will hear, Grandpa's recording of birds in Manhattan.
We hear birds. Most of them are pigeons, but we do hear other birds. We live across the street from a little school park.
But you live in the country. You live in Queens, right?
Yeah, there are lots of big trees, and there are
suburbs.
nests with birds. It's nice, actually. I'm really glad to hear what you're doing. You are super awesome. Can you tell me what the mission is of Marty's V Burger?
Sure. Our mission statement is to put out good food at the lowest possible price so more people can take advantage and eat better, and we can save more animals. And that's it. That's the mission statement. The bottom line is the last words. We're out there to save animals. I was thinking the other day that my dreams of sailing away on my 40-foot boat after having flown myself in my own airplane down to the Caribbean may have to be put on hold. But right now, all the money's going to keeping us open.
Thank you. Well, nobody's really going anywhere right now. But when we get back out there, I hope you continue with Marty's Vegan Burger. You're doing awesome work. You're the real deal.
Thank you. I'm just a guy. I keep saying I'm just a guy. And
you're one of the good guys, and we need you.
Well, I think everybody who is vegan and tries a vegan meal and moves in that direction, I think we're all doing our part. I really feel fortunate to have had the career I had in aviation and being a pilot and seeing a lot of the world and the country. And I think that even if you're not an activist, you're not out there living this as a lifestyle, as a business, as a new career, that you're doing your part. Even if you bring one friend to a vegan restaurant and say, just check it out. It's one meal that we don't have an animal involved with. I think it's a fantastic thing. So I'm just doing what I can, and I'll do it as long as I can. And my goal is to make more vegans and save more animals. And, I'm just a guy.
Oh, you heard from him, Marty Crudelo, just a guy. Thanks, Marty. Take care.
Thanks, Karen. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm here with Vladimir Grinberg of the Organic Grill in the East Village. So here we are. We're in the midst of the corona pandemic. I've been to your restaurant many times in the last 20 years since it started.
Thank you very much.
I'm wondering how your staff, your family, and everyone is doing during this lockdown.
First of all, thank you very much for reaching out. So how we're doing? At the moment, we are closed, and we are closed from March 16th. It was kind of a difficult decision for us. This is a small family restaurant, and Everybody is involved. My stepdaughter is involved, my wife, me. Honestly, our baby, we started it 20 years ago. And if anything, we try to keep raising our standards. It was a difficult decision. We were thinking of whether we should stay open or we should close. And one question kind of made it for us when we ask ourselves, are we truly able to provide social distancing? Are we able to protect fully our customers and our friends and our employees if we are to be open? And the answer was absolutely not. Okay, so as difficult as it is, and obviously it hurting us financially, we just decided to be congruent to our values, because I truly believe that if we are to do this social distancing quarantine, then it has to be full-fledged so we can back stronger and faster. Okay, because with all respect to restaurants that are open, I've been doing it for long enough. I'm doing it for 20 years and I'm familiar with the kitchen, especially in New York. How can you keep distance? Okay, and how you can truly protect customers when you don't know who is coming in, who is coming out. I think it just, I hate to say it, but loophole. If anything, we can all eat at home. We can buy groceries and do something just to preserve the integrity of what we're trying to do. Otherwise, it's just basically half game. It's not a full-fledged quarantine. It's not a full-fledged distancing as we need in this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like in some ways I want to support the restaurants that are out there that are doing delivery. But at the same time, I'm wondering if that's even a safe thing to do.
Yeah, especially if you are involved. Again, I'm not trying to critique anybody. Everybody has their own way of doing this, but then we can't be responsible for overall results. Because when we using delivery.com and Grubhub, those are third parties that come in not only in your restaurant, but in multiple other restaurants. There is so much exposure that you can't even control. So why even do this? If we seriously trying to address this issue, then we have to sacrifice. Yes, you are not going to eat fancy food from a restaurant, but you can eat at home. Buy bagels in the supermarket. And I just want to add one more thing. This thing was rational, but at the same time, there were other things like that you are not connected at all. And we are so accustomed to be in touch and connected with our customers. I even transfer our phone to my cell phone so I can talk to people who call. And that's kind of helps. But I get like numerous emails. Can you donate food? Can you do this and that? And we were always so involved. We were always on the forefront of doing those kind of things. I can't even do this anymore. So this is kind of hurts that we can help people who are doing such a wonderful job. That's kind of difficult.
Now, when you opened in 2000, shortly after that, we had 9/11.
That's true.
And you managed to get through that.
I was talking to my friends and we were doing a lot of fundraising at the time and we were giving free food. It's a little bit different. As I remember Sandy and 9/11, you would go outside of East Village or Midtown, Lower Manhattan, and you would be in a normal world.
Yeah.
Yes, there was an aftermath and post-trauma reactions, and there were people who died, horrible time. But you could get some sense of normalcy if you just go out, even if it would be kind of a fake normalcy, but still you would feel it. Now, when it was Sandy, we were harmed in a big way. Our house was completely destroyed. Obviously, the restaurant was closed, but we sent kids away to grandparents. We slept in our friend's house for the sake of improvement of house so we can come back. But you could go away to the different neighborhoods and you can feel normal. Here, it's all over the place. Like
it's all over the world.
Yeah, you can get phone calls from another country and you still get this.
We're going to get through this. Will Organic Grill be with us on the other side?
I mean, we are working endlessly at home. We are perfecting our recipes. Me and my wife, and I'm on the phone with Julia. So we're trying to perfect what is already been done. We're trying to see how we can realistically come back. Probably the structure is going to be different. We're probably going to work limited hours. We are probably going to be offering more family meals so people would take enough food for the week. we're probably going to do more custom meal plans for people. So that's our goal for the beginning. I also kind of got a lot of inquiries from people who would say, post a link to your gift cards, post a link to your gift certificates. And we kind of debated it, should we do this or not? And we thought to ourselves, it's not honest right now, like try to sell those cards because we don't even know when we're coming back. And is it providing like a right value for people? Maybe the right thing should be that people would hold on to their cash and their money and buy groceries now and not go to the restaurant, because who knows how long this pandemic is going to be. If we truly in it together, then we have to help each other, not just trying to sell our own stuff and push it, but just to think what's better for everyone. Yeah, we can offer like help how to cook and how to do stuff,
Sure.
but you're better off hold on to your money, and cash is tight for everyone now.
Right. Well, we are a community, and we hope to see the Organic Grill come back very strong. We need you.
And I completely agree with you that we are a community. And more than anything, we think that we can rely only on our close ones and people who share values with you, obviously your family. Everybody else is, it looks like even government social distance from us now, and they like in their own bubble, and they deciding problems that are not necessarily something that we are experiencing. It looks like there is a little bit of
It's a big disconnect.
big disconnect.
We're on different planets.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems like. Well, I wanted to thank you for this time, and I really wish you the best. And for those of you that are curious about the Organic Grill or want to just remember back when, you can go to YouTube and listen to the OG Talk podcasts, their video, and they're really nice.
DM us on Instagram or our website. I'd love to tell you anything about our recipes, how you can cook on a budget. So we'd love to talk to you guys.
Okay, great. Well, I hope to see you when we're through this. Okay, thank you. Hi, I'm with Robbie De Rossi, and he is an amazing force here in New York City. He's an artist and entrepreneur and has created many wonderful drinking establishments and restaurants here in the Manhattan area specifically. Thank you for taking the time during this pandemic to speak with me.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
My first question is, how are you? How are you and your family and those around you? I hope you're all well.
Yes.
Yes,
I guess that's a loaded question. As far as healthy, like, are any of us sick? No, nobody's sick. I do have some friends not close to me in proximity who, one of them was on a ventilator, fortunately made it. Family, close friends here, and staff, everyone seems to be healthy and safe.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. We're living in the epicenter here in Manhattan of this pandemic, and over the last, I don't know how many years, decade or so, you have created somewhat of an empire of stylish drinking establishments and restaurants, and then you took a risk and started transforming them so that they would offer vegan food. In the vegan world, you are an amazing hero. So many people have been excited about the work that you've been doing, and now everything's come to a complete stop. So what is happening with you and your businesses? What have you been working on? Loaded question.
Yeah. So I could talk for hours about that. I always have spent a lot of time by myself. It's sort of how I keep my energy focused, and so I'm obviously spending a lot more time by myself now, and I've increased the amount. I'm doing a lot of yoga, and I'm learning to play the piano, like all these things that I've wanted to do forever. I'm finally finding the time to do, and they're keeping me, charged, definitely creatively. We've had to lay off or furlough over 100 and some odd people, which is really unfortunate. And hopefully sooner than later we can hire them all back. Something we are doing is we decided when this first came about a month ago, that just being in the service industry, like we wanted to continue to serve and find a way to do it And if we couldn't charge people, we thought, let's just give food away for free. So in the beginning, I actually kept 5 of my restaurants open: Mother of Pearl, Honeybees, Avant Garden, Ladybird, and Night Music. And we were giving away free meals to New York City public school kids, because school is where a lot of children get their 1 or 2 meals of the day. And that sort of broke my heart, hearing that they weren't going to get fed. But fortunately, the schools did open up and started offering just for free meals, which is great. But in the beginning, we started giving away free meals to kids. Eventually, once the schools opened back up just for food, we decided to open that program up to free meals for everyone. Anybody who wants one can come get a healthy, warm, plant-based meal. And again, we started doing that out of 5 places. But then as New York City became more and more sort of a hotbed for the virus, a lot of people didn't want to come to work, very understandably, just for safety and health reasons. So it's hard to maintain staff at 5 restaurants. So we've now condensed it. Just last week, we condensed it into just 1 restaurant. They're all in the same neighborhood. So it's not like you go to one and they don't have it. Just literally, you can walk a block and we do have free meals. So we now have Avant Garden at 130 East 7th Street open from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. And that's for anybody who wants. We're open for takeout and delivery as well. We're normal people who want to order delivery or and pay for their meal. But we also, if you come to the window, anybody who wants one can get a free meal.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Number one, that you filled the gap before New York City was able to get the schools going to feed the school children, but in addition, offering meals to everyone for free. Now, how is that manageable? Are you taking donations?
Yeah, we set up a GoFundMe account. We raised a good deal of money through that, and also I'm whatever we don't raise, I'll just fund myself. And it's going pretty well. We got a few people have donated products like ice cream and drinks and bottled drinks and stuff like that. So we're giving that all away for free as well.
That's just amazing. Okay, so we imagine that we're going to get through this, and then our community will start up again. Do you have any ideas how that will work for you and your businesses?
Well, because nobody seems to really know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how it's going to happen. I have an idea, but it's not based on any truth or fact. Just because there's so much information out there. I literally read hundreds of different news outlets every day just to sort of figure out what's real, what's fake, what's going to happen. And it's so hard to figure out what's really going on. I imagine come June, I think we'll probably end up being shut through May. And then come June, I think we'll probably be allowed to reopen. But I imagine that there will be some sort of social distancing protocol still involved. They're talking about, Governor of California was talking about, when we do reopen, only being able to seat 50% of the restaurant. So there's still distance between everybody. And also having all servers, kitchen staff, and bartenders and such wearing face masks as well as gloves. That probably seems like the most realistic and probably the best scenario. Things could get worse if they don't find a vaccine. Obviously, if they find a vaccine, everything changes. If they don't find a vaccine, it's possible that there's a second wave of coronavirus. Once we start reopening things, if there is no vaccine, we could very possibly have a second wave. And
start it all again.
Start all again, which would make things worse. So I guess we'll wait till May to see what the people in charge decide. They may just keep things closed for a bit longer. I really have no idea what to expect here.
Now, I imagine you have been a very busy person because you have so many projects going on. And you talked about how now you're doing a little more yoga, playing piano. Do you think you can incorporate some of what you're doing now during this slow time into your busier lifestyle?
Oh, yeah, definitely. After doing yoga every day, sometimes many times twice a day for the past several weeks, I don't intend to ever stop. Just so great just for my body and mind and focus. And, I've done it on and off over periods of my life when I had more free time. And it's, as I get older, it's always something that I'm thinking about and wanting to do. So I don't intend to ever stop. I'll make time for it for sure. Piano, and I've been writing a lot. Who knows? It's hard to say. It's learning piano as your first instrument at 45 years old is a very, very intense undertaking. It takes patience. And
good for you. Yeah.
Whether I continue after everything is hard to say at this point.
Sure. It just takes commitment.
Yes.
That's all. Well, good for you. I find that meditation and yoga, especially now, really helps with the anxiety that comes with this pandemic.
Yes, definitely.
And it develops your lungs, which are so important right now. We all need really strong lungs.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
I'm really, really in awe to hear about what you've been doing during this pandemic and giving away so generously food that is so needed. On behalf of New York City, I thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
I really look forward to having an opportunity to come to your restaurants and establishments. They're beautiful, they're wonderful, and it's great for vegans, especially. I've been vegan for 32 years. It's great for us to have a place to...
32 years?
Yeah, I'm 61.
Wow,
I've been vegan more than half my life now. And it's just great to be able to party like regular people.
We actually have 3 new restaurants that are supposed to open. They were all supposed to open this summer. There's going to be some delays, obviously, but hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to have 3 new ones open.
In New York?
In New York, yes.
Okay, and you're also looking at other projects in Miami and Los Angeles?
Yeah, well, I opened up a cocktail bar in Denver and in LA, and we were just about to sign a lease in Chicago for a cocktail bar right when this happened. So I don't know if we're still going to sign that lease or not, but since now I'm traveling much more to these other cities, and our bar is doing exceptionally well, or was obviously before we closed a month ago. Spending so much time in these cities, I'm starting to look for locations to open up vegan restaurants in those cities as well.
Wonderful. We don't have enough.
Yes, you're right. We do not have enough. The demand far outweighs the supply right now.
Yes, of course. I think all eating and drinking establishments should be vegan. That's in my fantasy world.
One day, maybe not in our lifetime, but there will come a time where we either do it by choice or we're going to be forced to do it.
There you go. Well, Robbie, it's really been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for taking the time. I wish you excellent health and strength for you and all of those that you love. Thank you again. And
I appreciate it.
Be well. I am now talking with Patricia and Raheem Jones from The New Vegan in Delray Beach. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
We're doing good.
Great. So tell me about The New Vegan, how long you've been around, and how your business has been affected by the coronavirus.
We've been in business 7 years now. We just celebrated our 7th year in February. It's family owned and operated with my husband and I. We really took a hit. We were a sit-down restaurant, so we had to reconstruct to do takeout only. Our revenue cut in like thirds, so way below, going from like, $300-$500 days from when we used to do like $2,800 days. It really hit us hard. We've been doing well, been focusing on other avenues. That's been providing food to the public through our food trucks, our meal prep company, and just focusing on different ways to feed the community.
You have a food truck?
Yes, we do.
Are you able to use that to deliver food or make food available?
Yes, our goal right now is to run it like a drive-through. So people can, like a drive-through at a second location. So, instead of being in a public area, and just have crowds, we'll have it in a safe environment where people can drive up in their vehicles to come get the food. And it's the same food that's prepared at the restaurant.
Wow. I like that. That's clever. Good for you.
Thank you.
I find with the people I've been talking with, there's a lot of creativity that's happening. And maybe some of what you're creating now, you'll be able to use when we get over this thing and you can get back to regular business.
Right. Yep. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think one of the things that helped us sustain this was the fact that we've been creating our own product from day one. We sprout and dehydrate and make all of our food in-house. Prior to this, we had already had a couple of 1,000 pounds of chickpeas, which enabled us to kind of have a stability throughout this session.
1,000 pounds of chickpeas?
1,000 pounds.
Whoa. And how are your suppliers? I'm having a hard time finding organic dried beans and get them shipped.
About 6 months ago, we had made a purchase of a little over 7,000 pounds of chickpeas. So we've been kind of stocked up prior to this even, but it's a good source of protein and it goes a long way. Hopefully after this is over, people will start to get the value of real food and learn some of the foods that can hold them through long, tough times.
Absolutely. The bean is an amazing food, and the chickpea, the garbanzo bean, there's just so many things you can do with it. I'm always singing praises of that simple little pea.
Yeah, and we get creative with it because not only is it that we make like our meat substitute with it, but it's our base for like hummus and other dishes that we get creative with. Definitely, like you said, just stocking up before we even knew what was about to come, what helped us stay ahead.
You're very fortunate. Are you anywhere near the beach? I know you're in Delray Beach. Are you near the ocean?
Yeah, we're walking distance from the beach, like
that's
5
nice.
minutes. Yeah, we're downtown Delray.
And is it true that some of the beaches are now opened up again in Florida?
Yeah, sadly, it is true. They opened them up in Jacksonville, and they're due to open down here by us, I think, in the next couple days, which is very ironic because of this, they're mandating people to wear masks, but then canceling events, but then the beach somehow bypasses that. So we're still a little confused with that.
Yeah, the whole thing is confusing, but my understanding is it's for people to be able to walk and move, but not necessarily lie around and get suntan. It's for moving.
Right. So that's what they say because there's no controlling that. If you're on the beach, people's gonna flood it. Yeah. And from my understanding, they had like over 20,000 people on the beach in matters of like 15 minutes in Jacksonville. To me, it's going to be even more complicated because it's just going to be chaos.
That's true, but it may help your business.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Anything else you'd like to share about your current situation and your business?
Yeah, we've had some amazing customers who's been with us day one, and they continue to support us, with their regular meals. And we're also giving us the platform to create new meals. Not only are we 100% vegan, but we're also 100% gluten-free, soy-free, and organic. And we've been coming up with a lot of different dishes just during the downtime to give people more varieties. So we would do like a jackfruit fried chicken. We do like a vegan oxtail, raw dishes, comfort food. So a little bit of something for everyone.
Wow, it sounds so good. I want to get there. I can't wait to leave my apartment.
And we're planning on shipping our mix. So we make our own chickpea flour. And we do our own falafel mix, like our meat substitute, and we're in the verge of also pre-packaging the meals so we can ship out of state.
That sounds really good. That's very exciting. Tell me, what are you doing in the community?
So my husband and I, we've been donating meals to the first responders. That includes the garbage man, nurses, doctors, security, the housekeeping, just everyone who's made the sacrifice to be there for us. So last week, we donated over 150 meals to Boca Regional Hospital and also Delray Housing Authority to families in need and, who's lost their jobs to this situation or kids are home. So, it feels nice just to try to push back some positivity, everyone going through a hard time, to let them know that they're still in this together and not to give up hope.
And even though times got really slow, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So if the time is slow and we're not making food for customers, you still want to stay sharp on your craft. So we use the time to dedicate meals to others, and it just keeps us busy.
Yeah, it's a win-win for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just cool just to see how just a little bit brightens their day, you know what I mean? Just knowing that, I know it's not easy what they're going through, and we could only help through food. So it's been amazing. We don't, just my husband and I just been cranking it out every week.
We do what we can.
Well, I'm so glad to connect with you. Thank you for sharing our story.
Well, this story gives me hope, and I'm sure it will give a lot of other people hope. So thank you for taking the time, Patricia and Raheem.
You're welcome.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye. I am speaking with Nadja Wright Brown, who is with the restaurant in Baltimore, the Land of Kush. And how are you?
I'm good. Everything is going good here. How are you doing?
That's wonderful. Well, I'm in Queens, New York, the epicenter of this pandemic, and it's very quiet. Tell me about the Land of Kush. How long have you been in business?
The Land of Kush is celebrating 9 years as of January. So we've
That's
been
fantastic.
open. Yes. It's definitely a blessing. So 9 years in business.
And Kush, can you tell us what that is?
Our interpretation of Kush. Kush was an ancient African civilization in Ethiopia that was along the Nile River. So it was an ancient African kingdom. A lot of folks associate Black history with slavery and post-slavery, but there is a history, an ancient African history before that time.
Oh, we need to know more about that.
Yes.
Do you give history lessons at the restaurant?
Well, my husband, who is definitely the brainchild behind Land of Kush, studies the African diaspora. So that was his mission, to name the restaurant something that would pose questions and he can educate them on what ancient African history says.
Excellent. I'm definitely going to have to look into that some more. You've been around 9 years, which is fantastic. Tell me, how has the coronavirus pandemic affected you and your business?
Well, the week that the executive order came out from Governor Hogan, we definitely saw a significant drop by 50% or more because, this is a small establishment, but even though it's small, people like to dine in. So we lost all of the dine-in business and also our catering, most of our, if not all of the catering business, because we did a lot of catering for Hopkins and University of Maryland and a lot of the organizations and businesses out in the city, around the city. But I'm usually prepared for things that I need to be prepared for because you have those known unknowns that happen and you need to prepare for them. So as soon as this happened, I just took to social media and I just started putting a couple of dollars into social media ads and just letting everybody know every time there was an executive order, we're still open. We're just doing takeout and delivery and pickup and still can accommodate catering orders, just letting people know. And then we have a rewards program where we have 2,000 members and then over 500 of them are active. So we communicated with all of our loyal customers to let them know we are here and open for you, because we are an essential business that sells food. So because a lot of people were confused, they weren't sure what was going on.
Sure.
So I think that helped. That helped a lot.
Yeah, that was smart. Very good for you. And how about your suppliers? How are you doing getting the supplies you need?
Oh, well, produce, there's a depot that my husband goes to every other day that has been open. Of course, logistics has changed over there because of the social distancing, but we have been getting produce and, we have deliveries coming in. Yes, there are some issues with products that we're used to getting in, not coming in. So we are facing some of those challenges as well.
Well, I'm glad you're out there. I'm glad you're feeding people, and I'm glad people know that you're out and taking advantage because we need to keep businesses like yours going.
Yeah, and e-gift certificates. There was an initiative started called Stand by Baltimore, standbybaltimore.com, and they were collecting names of businesses that were selling e-gift cards. Now, we've never sold e-gift cards. We've sold physical gift cards, but this motivated me to set up something in Square. You can, even if you don't want to come out or if you're not going to order now, something to contribute to the business for a future purchase. So we've been selling a lot of e-gift certificates as well on our website.
Now, you're originally from New York?
Yes, I am from the South Bronx. And my family's out there. My mom is out there. She's giving me up-to-date news on what's been going on in New York. And, I know what's happening out there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad to hear about you. And I hope to get to Baltimore sometime when we're allowed to get out.
Oh, that'd be great.
And try some of your food. I was looking on the menu and it looks really yummy, like the chickpea burgers. Everything looks really good.
Yeah, one of our top sellers, award-winning crab cakes, staple item are the barbecue Kush ribs, because that was one of the products that we came out with when we were vending at festivals. It was the ribs, the mac and cheese, collard greens, yams. Like that was our menu. So people that know us from before we had a brick and mortar that's still their go-to item, the fish rib.
I don't know what it's like in Maryland right now with the number of cases. It's certainly not like it is in New York. People aren't feeling as challenged to go to a restaurant for delivery or for takeout.
Right, exactly. And I think with the order now with the mask, because there was always this question, should people be wearing masks? Shouldn't they wear masks? Or, don't wear these masks because it's being saved for the front line of first responders. But now, everyone's being ordered to wear the mask, especially in the food service businesses, any businesses dealing with people, and they're suggesting anyone that's going out to wear the mask. So it's definitely something to get used to, and definitely a change, but tells me a lot about, myself personally. You have to be able to adapt to change because, the only thing you can control is yourself. You really can't control anything that's going on around you. So things are going to happen. It's just how do you react to the things that are going to happen?
You nailed it. That's right. That's a brilliant philosophy. That's a philosophy of life.
I'm working out. I just finished up virtual fitness, my fitness gym. They went virtual literally within a day of this happening. So I've been working out 3 days a week virtually, meditating, all of that, so no sitting around snacking here.
We don't know when this is going to lift. We don't know how we are going to come out of all of this, but you're learning new things along the way as you're doing this. What are you going to take from what you've discovered during this pandemic to your business in the future?
My philosophy about this is a global reset. I'm a very spiritual person and believe in, law of the attraction and universal law. And this was my time to sit back and all the busyness that I was doing, because a lot of times we're busy just to be busy, but we're not taking time out to really sit back and think, what should we really be doing opposed to what everyone else wants us to do. So I really took this time to dig into what my daughter's been doing with school, because of course she's here on a full virtual school schedule, because they started also 2 days after the announcement that the order was in effect. So they were back in school. They didn't have time out. Yeah. So I had to be that type of mom, managing a daily school schedule from 8:30 to 3:30, continue the marketing for the restaurant, ensuring that we were getting people to place orders, and also my mental sanity and my emotional health. So that fitness and meditation work right in there. So what I'm learning is it still goes back to me, and I need to focus on what I need, because health is your true wealth. If you're not healthy, you really can't support and be there for anyone else. And for my husband, which, on the restaurant side of the business, being there to make sure I'm doing what I need to do to contribute to the business needs, along my daughter's needs and my needs. Mm-hmm. So you really have that. Health is wealth is very, very important. I'm talking about mental health, physical health, spiritual health, emotional health, and your financial health. For those that, may have not put aside, not saying I put a lot of money aside for emergency funds, but it makes you think. You never know what's going to happen.
A lot of words of wisdom right here in a quick minute. Nyjah, I wish you and your family the best, and your restaurant. Stay strong, stay well. I hope to get to Baltimore soon and get to taste your food and meet you. So take care.
landofpush.com. I'm also building my YouTube channel as well, Nyjah Wright Brown. So, look into that.
Okay, I'll put those links on my page.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Be well. I'm with Sunny Miller from the Vegetarian House in San Jose, California. Well, I say I'm with, but we're actually on Zoom together for this moment. Sunny, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, I'm thinking back to, I think it was in December when I last saw you during my last trip to California, and you were really so exuberant. You normally are, but you were extra happy because the business was going so well. You were doing a lot of catering to local businesses. Things were really going well. And now we've had this lockdown, and I'm wondering how things are going for Vegetarian House, for you, the staff, and what you've been doing.
Well, things have certainly changed. The catering side, obviously is totally dried up. I mean, we're really doing a lot of catering to all the corporates in the Bay Area, even doing big caterings for 1,000 people or more. It was pretty regular, so we're really actually flying along with the catering. But since this has started, we've had no more catering. But we've modified our business model. So as soon as the lockdown started, we quickly evolved. And, apart from doing to-go, so we're still continuing to do to-go orders. And we put together a whole meal kit menu. So we modified a lot of the menu items to be like either meal kits or frozen dinners. So now actually when people come in, everything's ordered online, so they can order their dinner like regular for to go. Then they can also order, say, meals for the week if they'd like. And we're also doing organic produce, so people can get all their organic produce at the same time as their meal and their meal easy. We call it an easy meal kit. Things are moving along in that direction at the moment.
That's amazing. How quickly did it take you to come up with this plan and make those changes?
We did it pretty much overnight. We just didn't rest until it was done. We just worked with the chefs, and we got some equipment in. Actually, we saw it coming, I think, because we ordered the equipment a little earlier before the lockdown, because we're thinking maybe we have to go in this direction. And we actually even ordered ozone machines and UV machines, and so we had all that in place to make sure everything's extra sterilized and extra clean. And so, we kind of, I guess, had a little foresight and prepared ourselves. So when it actually did hit, we hit the ground running, actually.
I'm very happy to hear this. And I'm glad that your business is going, maybe not the same as before, but still you're managing to feed the community and keep the business going. Do you see this informing your future business? I don't think anything's ever going to go back to normal, but when things open up and business is open again, is this going to be a piece of it?
Yes, we will continue to do this, and we'll continue to evolve it. But we're also putting together, now I think a lot of the corporates may go into, like lunch boxes. So we've also developed a lunchbox menu. So companies can order lunch boxes once they get back to work. And so, it's going to happen in stages, but we're just preparing for, how things will be different in the future. I don't think we'll have to go back to business as usual, but, we have to do the best with what we've got.
Now, how about the wait staff, my friends, Julie and Lorna and all of those folks? Are they working?
Yes. Unfortunately, we did have to let go of some.
Yeah.
But we've kept our core team in place. And so, there's not as much work, but we are managing to keep, majority of the staff on. So, and, we're also doing other things like, helping feed, different areas. We're looking into feeding hospitals, like donating meals to hospitals and also shelters and so forth. So we're still able to move things along and keep the staff busy enough to, actually, we just want to keep our doors open. We're very grateful for the people who support us, all our customers who come in and they place their trust in us. And we're really very grateful for that.
If I was in San Jose, I would be one of them.
Yeah.
I've been craving a lot of vegetarian house meals.
I'm sorry.
You'll be here soon enough. I hope so.
But I think now is a good time for society to, take stock and reflect. I think really now is a time to change. Really, I can see this as an urgent call from the planet. The planet's crying out at the moment. And so this is our time as a species to change our direction. We've really been going along, actually, we've been putting too much, killing vibration into the atmosphere, too much hatred, too much fear. And that stays in the atmosphere. I think it's built up to a point that it's just it can't go on anymore. Now is the time to change that.
Well, I agree with you. And I know that we think very similarly. I just don't know about everyone else. I just hope they get that message.
Yes, I understand. But it has to start somewhere. It may sound, out there, but it's something that really has to happen. Actually, I saw the other day there was a vegan law petition. You can actually just Google that. It says vegan law petition, and they're petitioning to make vegan the law. Yeah,
Ooh.
I know it sounds ridiculous, but actually it has to happen. Otherwise, these viruses, these diseases, they'll
They're only
continue.
going to
Maybe
get worse.
yeah, they'll
They're
get
only going to get
worse.
worse. Yeah.
And not to mention climate change. Now we've kind of been diverted from, looking at climate change, our diet, how it relates to climate change. But unless we change our diets, these things are going to continue. Now we've got an opportunity to change. And if we don't change now, I really don't know how many more opportunities we're going to get. Now's the time for our species to evolve, and come back to our true nature, which is really loving and kind. Our true nature is loving and kind. It's like whenever we help somebody, we feel uplifted, we feel somewhat happier. And so I think we've gotten too busy and gotten away from that, but now is the time to stop and perhaps move in that direction again. And I think that's what really can save us. Not vaccines and not, all these other things they're talking about, but being loving and kind and stopping the killing and just being good. That's what can change. That's what will change.
Love
our
heals.
destiny.
Yep.
Love heals all.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you are donating meals to hospitals. Are you taking monetary donations to help support that?
No, we're doing it on our own. And also masks. We've donated masks to hospitals.
Wonderful.
So we're just doing whatever we can, helping out in any way we can.
Mm-hmm. Sonny Muller, I love hearing you speak. I love your energy, and I love that you believe in love.
Thank you, Karen. I love that you love that also.
Love fest. Well, I can't wait to see you and eat food at the Vegetarian House. Thanks again for taking a moment to speak with me, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you, Karen. You stay safe, you stay well, and blessings to all.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And those were the 6 interviews that I had with Marty Crudelo of Marty's V-Burger, Vladimir Grinberg of The Organic Grill, Robbie De Rossi from De Rossi Global, Patricia and Raheen Jones of The New Vegan, Nija Wright Brown from the Land of Kush, and Sonny Muller of the Vegetarian House. I love them all.
Karen, this was a fabulous show, and what a wonderful idea to talk to these folks and to get their input about how they are doing and what they're doing during this global pandemic crisis. And
well, it wasn't my idea. It was a listener's idea.
Well, a shout out to that listener.
Yes, Mariah, thank you.
Thank you, Mariah.
And if anybody else wants to hear certain stories, have us talk to different people, please let us know. info@realmeals.org.
Yes, info@realmeals.org. We love hearing from you. We love your ideas. We love that you listen to this program now in its 11th year. And the host of this program, Karen Hartglass.
Oh, I didn't even mention your name, Gary DiMattei.
Has a birthday tomorrow.
Wait a minute. You know
yes. No, don't. You don't have to mention my name. They know it's me.
It's Gary.
They know it's Gary.
Yeah, I have a birthday
But your
tomorrow.
birthday's tomorrow.
Birthday and Earth Day.
Birthday and Earth Day. We used to have the Happy Earth Day review.
That's right,
remember?
with the swinging gourmets.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that in our apartment and do some filming and
some
post
kind
it.
of Happy Earth Day swinging gourmet pandemic extravaganza.
From the tap mat. Karen's becoming quite the tapper, everybody.
Oh, thank you. We all need to do exercise, and it's especially important now that many of us are staying inside and not going to a gym. And I started tap dancing.
Yes,
and I enjoy it. I don't think our neighbor underneath enjoys it as much as I do.
Well, remember she just sort of said, "What are you guys doing?" And then she said, the hell with it. Go ahead, do it. I don't care. She was really awesome about that. Yeah. Our neighbor. We see her every night on our terrace down below, banging a pot with all of us at 7 p.m.
The 7 p.m. cheer. I don't know how many of you have the 7 p.m. cheer in your community, but we go out every night at 7 p.m. and bang on our pots.
Bang on our pots and pans.
Whistle and applaud. And what else can we do to say thank you to all of those at the front line, the healthcare workers,
and the restaurant workers,
workers,
Marty and Vladimir and Ravi and Patricia and Naija and Sunny and
yes, all of them.
All of them. All of you out there that are trying to feed people and trying to keep your doors open. We know so many people that have closed their restaurants.
Yes.
It's really
And I hope they come back.
I hope they do come back.
But some may not be able to.
No, and this is tragic, but necessary for all of us to stay inside and do what we can to make sure that this thing flattens and then goes away.
And then goes away. Well, no one really knows what's going to happen. But in the meantime, we're here.
Right.
Sharing our stories about food and the wonderful, generous, and compassionate vegan community.
You mentioned in each of these interviews how they could help out. If you know of a restaurant in your neighborhood that needs help and you can do something about it, I'm sure they would appreciate it.
Yeah, there are probably ways. So on our website, responsibleeatingandliving.com, for this particular show, I have links that were mentioned in the interviews. So if there was something you were curious about, like the Support and Feed program or the De Rossi Global GoFundMe campaign, or perhaps you want to support those in Baltimore with the Stand By Baltimore campaign, or you just want to hear the OG Talk with Organic Grill, their video podcasts, or maybe you want to check out Naija Wright Brown's YouTube channel, I included all those links on our page.
That's great. That's really great.
Yeah. I want to mention one more thing. The Food Revolution Network, which is a favorite organization with John and Ocean Robbins. They are having their big annual summit, the 2020 summit. If you want more information about it, I've got a link at our website, responsibleeatingandliving.com. It starts on April 25th.
Go to the website and check it out.
It's a 9-day event with many people staying at home. Here's an opportunity to be able to listen to all of the interviews as they are broadcast throughout the week. It's very informative.
Yes, and you've done it now. How many years in a row?
Well, I've been behind the scenes, sometimes in front of the scenes.
Right.
For, I think, all of them, except the first one I don't think I was involved with. But one of the things that I do is answer a lot of the nutrition questions that come up during the program.
That is because, Karen, in addition to it being your birthday tomorrow, you are an expert.
Oh, don't say that.
You are an expert.
Okay. I just have a strong interest in healthy, nutritious plant food.
Yeah, but you're also an expert.
I know a little bit.
You know a lot.
Okay.
Hey, happy birthday, Karen.
Thanks. Happy birthday, Karen.
Happy Earth Day, Earth.
Oh, the Earth.
We're listening to you.
Yes. This is it. This is our big moment to reset.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening, everybody. And thanks to all the folks out there who allowed us to interview you during a very busy time, I'm sure.
Yes.
And
okay,
thanks,
everybody.
Thanks, PRN. Thanks, Gary Knoll. And thank you, listeners.
Thank you, listeners.
Have a delicious week.